Welcome to Do It With My Laptop. So I guess it's the time, so let's move on. Okay. My name is Simon Roses Femerling. I am the founder of Bullnex. It's a offensive and defensive cyber startup based in Spain, Madrid. I used to work for Microsoft, and I left like a year ago to do other things. To start my own company, doing more exciting things. I've been there doing the security development at Microsoft for many years, and then also right now working on a DARPA Cyber Fast Track project as well. So we are keeping busy right now. I have to apologize for my coworker. He was not feeling well. I guess it's Amsterdam, right? So some people party, others we work, and we have to give the talk, right? So apologies for that. And you guys are stuck with me, so I guess it's just bad luck. Okay, let's move to the talk, right? Okay, the talk objectives, for this talk, we have been working on a couple of anti-theft products. We have, from a security standpoint, I guess you can say from a thief point of view, what you can do against those products. So we're going to talk about different products on pretty much on all the platforms, Windows, Linux, macOS, mobile phones. And we are trying to answer two questions. Are we safe in a mobile world? Well, I'm sure all of you probably will think not. And you are right, and we will show a couple of examples of that. Most important, if the device is stolen, can the thief get access to the data? And we will try to answer those questions. Okay, now I guess it's a disclaimer just in case. We will assume that all the anti-theft products are safe because they are security products, right? And then, most important, neither myself or my coworker or the company itself, we are not responsible for in any way for the information here presented and the results. This is the agenda for the talk. So we're going to see an overview of the different products on the platforms, what they do, the market, why we need this kind of products. Then we're going to some of the issues we have seen on the products and weaknesses. Then we will talk about vulnerabilities and attack vectors against anti-theft products. And then we will draw some conclusions. What's going on with these products? Okay, let's start. So first thing is the terminology, right? I guess these days everybody is familiar with bring your own device. It's like a philosophy or policy, whatever you want to call it. And now also we have many more terminology, like bring your own technology, bring your phone, bring your own PC, bring your whatever. So that way companies are starting to adopting this kind of philosophy because that allows the user to bring their own devices, so the user is happy. But at the same time, companies have to make sure that those devices are safe. For that, a lot of software vendors have come up with different solutions. I guess one of the most popular is the mobile device management. So the idea is that it will allow you to manage all your mobile devices. And they will offer security, management, and all that stuff. And also a new solution has come up as well, like management, mobile application management, mobile data security, data protection, and all that stuff, right? So now, for any company doing like bring your own device, now you have different solutions you can use to manage your devices. And some of these software, they also include like anti-theft features. Okay, and this is quite important because in your devices, we have so much information these days, right? We have like email address, contacts, photos, you access your social networks from your devices, your bank accounts, using password management, that you can put all your passwords in your devices. Great idea. And actually, I talked about that last year in Black Hat. So you go to the Bullnex website, you can find our tag from last year, and we were talking about password manager security issues. And then you can also access your servers, corporate servers from your devices, right? So there's so much info in those devices. Not only, actually, many people use those devices for work and personal use. So there's even more information. And not only that, usually, I'm sure many of you here do the same thing. Like I usually travel with at least two laptops, several phones, and at least one tablet. So there's a lot of information on those devices. If any of those get stolen, there's a lot of info there. So there's kind of concern there. Okay, some numbers. I mean, what we need anti-theft products, right? I mean, I think it was in January that the Metropolitan Police in London, they came up with a number they have seen for the last year, and they say just in London, 10,000 phones are lost per month. If you do the math, it's around 314 phones per day. That's a lot of info lost. I mean, we don't care about the devices itself, pretty much. Usually we don't care. But we care more about the data inside those devices. And so that's a lot of information that gets stolen or lost, whatever. So anyone getting access to those devices, he can get a lot of info about you or your company or whatever. And then we can see more statistics, right? Here are some numbers, the market, what is the cost and everything. And also this, before the Olympics, this company came up with a number. They were saying that they expect around 67,000 phones lost or stolen in the Olympic Games. Honestly, I don't know how many there were, but I haven't seen any numbers or how many phones for real were lost, stolen. But I'm sure there was a lot of phones. So now we understand there is a need for anti-theft products, and those vendors they think the same, and that's the reason they have come up with all these products. So there is a need, there is a huge market, right? So now we have some features. I mean, pretty much this is like a subset of the features, but this is quite common across the different solutions. So these products, they offer you like encryption and protection. They will encrypt your files, folder, or your entire devices. Great, so my information is protected. They also offer you like remote wipe. So if your device gets stolen, when I mean device, it can be whatever, a laptop or a tablet, phone, whatever, it doesn't matter. So you can also remote your entire device remotely. So basically, if your device is stolen or lost, you can just go to your anti-theft server, connect with your account, issue a command like delete my device, and it will send this command to the client in your device, and your device will get erased. So no one can get access to the data. Well, that's the idea, at least. Then you can also lock your screen, and that's quite nice because, for example, if you are back in, for example, you leave your computer open in your home or in the office. If you have anti-theft installed, you can just issue a command, go to the server again, and lock my computer, and it will send the command to the client, and you can lock your computer remotely. So that's really nice. Some interesting features, right? They can also sound an alarm, pop a message window, so you can do several things, and the alarms are quite funny. I mean, we are not going to show you, but if you start trying the test, all the alarms are quite interesting to hear them. Another feature is that they send a lot of information back to the servers. So, I mean, CSC is the term for the control center, right, for malware, but honestly, with so much info those anti-theft products they take, it's like similar to malware as well. So with that much info they get from the devices, right? So we will assume this. So this is the information they send back to the servers. So they can take a screenshot. They can do a webcam. They can take a photo from the webcam. Hopefully they will catch the guy, the thief, working on the device. The wireless name, the IP, the device is connected at the moment. The GPS location is if the device has like GPS features. So the idea here is with all this information, hopefully you can recover your device and catch the thief, right? And that's the idea. Okay, so now with all these features, the vendors claim that they offer like strong security, and hopefully you can recover your stolen device. Okay, sounds like a really good idea. Okay, okay. So now we have when we start looking on this, I mean, we knew a couple of products, but we didn't think there were so many at the moment. It's quite insane. For example, if you do a search in the Google market, we have for the anti-theft, they have like 1,000 results. Oh, I mean, none of them are anti-theft products. Some of them are games or some are other stuff, but for some reason they put the anti-theft word there, and that's the reason they show up in the results. But still, there's a lot of products available for anti-theft. The same for the iPhone, 48 anti-theft apps. And we can see we have a solution for pretty much all the platforms, right? At least all the platforms we care, because there are many more platforms, but we don't care about them. So we have Android, iPhone, Windows, Linux, macOS, BlackBerry, whatever. Pretty much everything you use, there's anti-theft products you can install in your devices. And not only that, we have specific anti-theft products, but also many more players has jumped into the market. Like antivirus, many antivirus today they offer like anti-theft features, especially all these mobile antivirus clients. Now they have also as well anti-features. And also MDM, like mobile device management solutions, they also have anti-theft features included in the management as well. So there's a lot of anti-theft solutions you can choose from. Okay, so because we have anti-theft, we can just relax. I mean, this is like the marketing propaganda we can see right now on these vendor pages. So rest safe, perfect. I mean, lose it, take it, find it, great. Another one is find your laptop, who's using it and what they are wearing. Hopefully they are not naked. So those are some of the claims that if you go to any of the vendors' website, this is all the information you can see about their product. When they talk about their product, this is all the things. So it's quite nice. Come on, be faster. Okay. So now let's move to the issues and weaknesses. Now is the fun starts, right? Okay, so there have been some work before that. I mean, these two researchers from Core Security in Argentina, Ortega and Sacco, they did a Black Hat talk in 2009, and they analyzed the Intel anti-theft solution that is included in many laptops today, but it's a paid services. I mean, it's included in many laptops, but it's not enabled by default. You have to pay the service and it will be enabled. And you can use Intel anti-theft features. So what they come up with a couple of issues, like non-notification to access the anti-theft feature. Anyone could activate it, change the configuration, and even worse, deactivate it, the anti-theft solution. So that's perfect. And actually, because it's Intel, it's an Intel solution, is whitelisted by many antivirus. So it will not tell you. I mean, they call it like in the research, the paper is quite great, so I recommend you guys take a look. They call it the activated rootkit, so they see more like a rootkit instead of anti-theft, but the idea is it's an anti-theft solution from Intel. Okay, and that was more in the hardware. What we have done is we have taken a look on different anti-theft products, more software packages. Okay, first thing when we start notice is many of these vendors, when they have developed the solution, they didn't do any design, security design, theme modeling, or anything like that. I mean, I'm coming from Microsoft, so theme modeling is like the Bible there, right? So, but anyways, it doesn't need, I mean, you don't have to do a theme modeling, all that. But at least you have to do a security design, right? Understand your threats. What do you want to protect and how? Looking around from these products, we saw that many of these anti-theft, they have not think in those terms. So how is data protected? I mean, the data inside the device or over the network, how is that information protected? If the device is stolen or lost, a thief can really, I mean, can the data be wiped? The device can be tampered for jailbreaking or whatever. The anti-theft solution can detect the jailbreaking or not? And how resilient are we against attacks, right? So anti-theft solution have to think in those terms. But so far, we have from analyzing these apps, we haven't seen much of this. I guess they understand the risks in many cases, and this is quite important because not a thief is sexy. some things they will abuse all your information and take everything from you and abuse it, right? So that's the reason. I mean, if we want to come up with security products, that's fine, but they have to be secure. Okay, so these are some of the tactics a thief can perform against the software, right? They can perform like network attacks on the device. They can also analyze the software itself, like doing reverse engineering on the different apps. Those are the things that a thief will do, right? We didn't do it, just in case you guys wonder. But yeah, I mean, those are the things we did, of course, like some attacks on the network, on the device. We're reverse engineering all the apps. Actually, we have quite a big list of the apps of many anti-theft products. So I think so far we have analyzed around 30, 40 apps of anti-theft. So it's quite interesting. Okay, let's move to the vulnerabilities and attacks. So, okay, so one of the things we notice, and I guess many of you think, let's ask the question. Okay, when you see all these icons or apps, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Anyone? Well, I guess quite easy, and it's so dumb. I guess we install it like a regular user, and it's there, the icon. They didn't hide or anything like that. They install like a regular app, and you have all the icons and everything there. Okay, I mean, we could argue they want to be that way, maybe, but I mean, if there are anti-theft products, I guess this will be do a better job covering themselves. Actually, most of the apps, they will ask you for a password. Okay, to execute to run in the program, they will ask you for a password. But some anti-theft programs, they don't ask for anything. So you just execute the program and you get access to the menu and change everything. So that was quite surprising. I mean, we're expecting a bit more hard they will hire a little bit more on the system. So I guess if you are a thief and you get access to the system, you cannot find this kind of software so easily. So that was the first things we noticed. Here we have for iPhone, Windows, Android. Those are some of the popular apps, right? Okay, moving on the research, we started to analyze how they work over the network, right? Well, another thing we saw is that there's so much information going on from the clients on your devices to the servers. Everything is in clear text, no SSL, no nothing. All this we saw like names, GPS coordinates. So that's like a privacy violation. I mean, because now I can find a guy and where is he, looking around with his GPS coordinates and all that stuff. So there's kind of concern. Passwords, there was a lot of the passwords from the client to connect to the server. Everything was in clear text. Perfect. So email, operating systems, device ID, phone numbers, and most interesting is application internals. I mean, we just learned quite a lot of how the devices, how this anti-theft work between the client and the server. Just by looking around what they were sending. I mean, you can see like HTML pages, XML queries, and all that stuff. And of course, you can change that. So it was quite interesting to see how that works. And you can change all this information. You can perform fuzzing on those communication and a lot of stuff, right? So it was quite interesting to see how much information was sent from the clients to the servers unprotected. So here we have some example. This is locate my laptop. This is and actually most of the anti-theft products, some of them are free, but most of them you have to pay for the service, right? So here we have one of the products, perfect in the registration process of your client. For example, when you install this product, when you install this anti-theft product on Windows, and you start doing the registration on your Windows, it will send all the information in clear text to the server. Here we have another one, MyTracker, another commercial product. And actually, I think MyTracker, the marketing is quite excellent, because I think it's that MyTracker, and the marketing they have, it says the ultimate anti-theft solution for PC. So that's perfect. Okay, here we have more. We have Prey for the iPhone. Prey is a very well-known anti-theft solution. It works pretty much on all platforms. It used to be free, and it is still free, but now they have like a commercial solution. The funny thing is, for the free version, they don't do any SSL, so you have to pay for the commercial version to get SSL, for example. So it's an anti-theft solution, but it's not secure for the free version. And this is quite popular. For example, is quite popular. Okay, so now let's move on. Okay, so that was some stuff on the network that was funny, and now we are a thief, and we're able to get the phone or steal the device, right? Okay, so a few things I mean, professional thieves will do. We didn't do it, but just in case the disclaimer is there. You can put the device in a Faraday box, so we can shield the device, so no one can send any commands to the client. So the anti-theft in your product cannot activate. Well, some advanced anti-theft solutions, they have also some features you have to enable. That, for example, if you lost a connection, it can activate after a while. So you can set up like a configuration. For example, if I lose connection after like 10 minutes after 15, whatever, run and broke my laptop or whatever. But those are very few anti-theft solutions that have that kind of advanced features. Most of the solutions, they will just use the network, and actually many products they only work on Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi internet connection, right? So that's perfect. They have to be connected to work to be enabled, right, from the server. So if we shield the device, okay, now we can work peaceful on the device and try to break it. So now we have different options we can do. We can try to use the recovery modes on the phones, for example. On Android, we can check if it is already rooted. So that's great. That will make our job more easier. Maybe USB debugging is enabled. We can try to bypass the passcodes on the phones. Of course, we can use any of the forensic light CDs for recover data on a laptop, for example. And we can use the jailbreaking tools, right? So there's a lot of things we can try to break the security of the device. And actually, many anti-theft solutions will not do anything to stop us. Here now we have been able to access the phone. Here is more passwords there. On the clear text. This is the anti-Droid theft on Android. Password in clear text. Where's my Droid? Again, more clear text, and we have more, but no point to show them all. So we can see that it's a lot of clear text password going on. Okay, okay, so we have the clear text. That's bad. But some more anti-theft products, they say, okay, let's put some cryptography and protect the password with hashes. That's perfect. The only thing is many of them use like weak crypto algorithms, like MD5, SH1 with no salt or anything, so that's perfect. So, I mean, that's the same like clear text, pretty much. Also, many of these anti-theft solutions, they are not using any crypto hardware. I mean, like laptops and phones, you have the chances to use like security chips on the devices, but we haven't seen any of this kind of solutions using those advanced features, right, to use more strong cryptography. So quite right, most of the products is quite lame, the cryptography they are using. Okay, let's do one of the demos because we were lazy instead of doing it live, and we know. I mean, demo live are usually cool, but if they work, so just in case to make sure, we prefer to do a small video. Hopefully, you guys can see fine from back end. Hopefully, let's see. Okay, here. Okay, let me stop and explain. This is the dashboard of Prey. One of the Prey is quite popular, so we are going to pick a little bit on this presentation on this anti-theft. We have many more stuff on other anti-theft products. So this is the dashboard of the Prey, right? I have Prey installed in a device, and I connect to my account on the Prey server, and here I can issue the commands I want. I can lock the computer, the device. I can erase, or I can sound the alarms, whatever I want from the dashboard, right? And it will send that information to the client. Well, actually, the client will get it from the server. and later we will explain how that works. So in this case, what I'm doing is, okay, I forgot to lock my laptop, and I left it in my work, for example, or whatever. So I go to the panel and I issue the command lock. So actually what happened is when the client connects to the server will tell him there was a lock command. So close, lock the device, right? Perfect. So now we issue the command. And now save the changes. Okay, to make it things a bit faster, because we are using the same Windows. Actually, this is the window that the Prey client is running. So we're going to reboot, because when you reboot, it will always the Prey will connect to the server immediately. If not, you have to wait. You can define how many times you want the Prey connect to the server. It can be 10 minutes, 20, or whatever. So depending on the configuration, it can be a while until the client connects to the server. So we have just reviewed the system, so it connects immediately to the Prey server. Let me advance here a little bit. Okay. So. Okay. Okay, now we are logging into the Windows, and now the Prey client will connect to the server, and it will receive the command lock this computer. Okay, so one thing we have noticed is a small trick. So what we're doing here is open whatever program, and it has to be a program that needs to save data you have to save data, and we will see why. So we open a program here. Okay, those are the paint skills we have, quite advanced. So, okay, so there we go. Okay, we have that there we just left that program open. And now we have to wait a little bit, and now the Prey client connects to the server. So we are there working, if I know the owner or whatever. So now, okay, let's stop. What happened there is that the client connected, the Prey client connected to the server and received a lock command, right? So now the lock computer is locked down, and usually this password is not the same as the Windows password. So right now I'm locked out of the Windows client, right? Okay. So we were thinking how we can bypass this, and this is the thing we are going to show you now. It's really elite skills to do this. So now we are trying to bypass the password here, the lockdown. Okay, we are trying the passwords. We knew, for example, the Windows password. It's not working. So now what we did here, basically, sorry about that. Okay, so what happened there? Now let's move there. Sorry. Come on. Let's see. Okay, so what happened is now we are locked and we cannot use the password. But if we issue Alt Control Delete to restart the system, that way we can bypass this lock screen, and we'll show how that works. So we issue we try a password, it's not working. So what we did is Alt Control Delete to restart. So we issue the command, and now we're going to show you there, restart the computer. Okay, let's restart. So now we are restarting Windows. But the thing is, because we open Paint, for example, now the operating system is telling us there is a program running that needs to save data. Okay, perfect, because Windows is so helpful. So it wants to save our data. So we cancel the data. Okay, we cancel the Paint as well. And now we are back in the desktop. And that's how you bypass the lockdown in Prey on Windows. And now, for example, you can see the Prey service is running there. So that was really hard for the thief to come up with this. Okay, I'm gonna skip all this. So that was how we bypass the lockdown. Okay, so that was one of the demos. Okay, so moving on the more features, we were analyzing the secure wiping, just in case if the anti-theft client is enabled and it deletes the entire the entire device, we want to see if that's really true, how that works. So the funny thing is, actually, most of the anti-theft products, they don't have any secure delete delete features. I think there was only one app, anti-theft solution, that included like a secure delete tool. All of them, what they do is they tell the operating system, delete this file. We all know we cannot be recovered, right? So another interesting thing is that also the SD cards on the phone, for example, many anti-theft products will not erase the SD cards. So anything installed in the SD card is there. And some anti-theft products, even worse, is not configured by default. So it is left to the user to enable, yes, delete if the phone gets deleted, delete the SD card as well. So the user have to do that. And we know that the users always choose the secure version, right? So that's perfect. So many anti-theft products are not doing the security delete at all. And for the secure wiping, what they do is they call the operating system, for example, in the phones, for example, and do a factory reset. And that's what they call the secure wipe. Okay, moving on the security wipe. For example, if you were a thief, one of the things you want to do is to remove the SD card immediately, so it cannot get deleted, just in case. So now we can get, and there is a lot of applications storing a lot of data in the SD cards, right? So just in case we move it out, and now the anti-theft cannot touch it. And now, in case the device gets reset by the anti-theft, for example, or whatever, so now we have different options. I mean, we can use a light CD on a computer, or forensics tool to recover the data, or in Android, iPhone, we have different tools we can use, right? So that's quite nice to use those kind of tools to recover data on erased devices. So we try that. So we enable a program, anti-theft solution in a phone, in a Nexus One phone, and we perform the anti-theft call the operating system, and they perform a factory reset. Okay, so now in theory the phone is clean. So we run our recovery tool on an Android phone. We just perform the factory reset, and we were able to recover files, contacts, WhatsApp messages, pretty much a lot of stuff. And this was a clean phone just before using the anti-theft, the factory reset, right? So a lot of stuff can be recovered, even when the user issue the wipe on the phone, right? So that's kind of scary. Okay, so more interesting stuff. So we came up with a small tool we call John Harvegas. It's a small character we have come up, and it's a small tool we have developed in .NET, and usually it should work from XP, because there's still a lot of XP out there, and we want to abuse them for sure, till Windows 8. So pretty much we cover the entire Windows base at the moment. So this tool, what it does, it can fingerprint anti-theft. So actually you executed this tool on a Windows. Right now it's only a Windows version. It can detect this anti-theft running. Of course, we are going to steal the credentials of the anti-theft tools. And of course, we are going to be able to disable anti-theft solutions. Right now, those are the 5 apps we cover. John Harvegas right now can disable, like Pray, of course, the laptop log, back to you, the Snuko, and locate my laptop. So right now we can detect, steal, and disable these 5 anti-theft solutions on Windows. Of course, you need the privilege. In many cases, you need administration privilege to do it, right? But still, it's quite easy. If you have like administration privilege, there's no problem at all to disable these kind of things. And also we are working on a version. Hopefully, we will in the future we will try to cover more platforms and other solutions as well. And hopefully, we are planning to release this tool. Hopefully, it will be available next week on our website. The way it works is quite easy. Usually, for example, you can use Metasploit to exploit a system, gain access to the Windows, if you have access now with you have a Meterpreter session, you can just upload. There's only 2 files to upload, so it's quite easy. One is the binary, the application, and the other file is just a configuration file. In the configuration file, you have to specify if you want to disable or just fingerprint, still the credential, and you can configure a server, a remote server, or a remote email. So what it does, it will send this JHB will send you the message or the credentials to a email account or to a web server, stealing all the information. In this case, we have enabled we have set up an email account, and we told the client to detect, and using the Windows Mail API, it sent an email to our account telling us this computer has a Prey running. That's it. So it's quite easy. It's a small tool we use for testing the anti-theft, right? But we have more ideas of things we can do with this kind of tools, right? And hopefully we are going to make it much more easy to use with Metasploit, for example. But actually, you can also run it. I mean, you have the tool. If you have access to the computer, you can just copy the files into the computer, execute it, and it will do the same thing. Okay, so we were thinking more ways how we can abuse anti-theft, right? So we were thinking, okay, let's do some interesting thing, like an attack vector. Okay, first step is to steal the device. Because we're a thief, we're going to steal it. Now we have steal the device, we're going to shield it, right? Because if we shield the device, now we can work in peace with no signal getting through or out. Now we have shielded the device, so we're going to tamper the device. We're going to jailbreak it, break the security, right? Because that way we want to get access to the device and, for example, install a rootkit. Now we install a rootkit, for example. Okay, what we can do is enable the anti-theft. For example, what we can do is enable anti-theft and leave the phone or device somewhere that people can find it easily. Okay, so now the user has been able to recover their device, phone, whatever, and they are happy. And we are happy as well. Because chances, for example, in a phone, I don't know how many people, if they recover the phone, how many people are going to erase the entire phone and restore it. I don't think this is going to happen. So the rootkit is there, for example. And many times for a computer, quite similar. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to reinstall everything in a lost and recovered laptop, right? So this is quite interesting. I mean, an anti-theft solution, they are not going to do anything about this to prevent it, to detect it, or anything like that. I only have a couple of tools. I mean, actually, there's only a few tools that have like a basic jailbreaking detection. That's it. They do anything else. So pretty much you can do all this kind of stuff with anti-theft solution installed in the device. Here we have another demo. So let's run it. Okay. Now we're going to perform like a network attack. So here what we are doing is we are set up, now we are a malicious client. Okay, so I guess it makes sense I explain this first. So what we're doing here, we are pretend to be one of the anti-theft servers. And now the client is always sending information. And actually usually the communication is quite common that the client asks the server, are we safe or I have to run or whatever. And the server, no, you are fine, don't enable or whatever. So what we have done here is we have crafted a special response. And when the client connects to our malicious server, we are telling the device that we're telling the client that the device was stolen. We want to change the password on the anti-theft client. We want to run the webcam, grab a photo, and a few things, right? Make an alarm, pop up message, different things. Okay, so now we have crafted this response, and now we have Prey again. We have so much fun with Prey, right? I mean, we have done this with many more programs, but because Prey is very popular, we prefer to show you a more popular version of an anti-theft program, right? So now what we have done is we have just run NCAT like in listen mode. So it was really sophisticated, right? So now that we have just to wait that the client or the anti-theft client connects to the server, but we have been man in the middle, so we are changing the network flow, and all the connections are coming to us, right, instead of the server. So we have to just to wait for the client to connect. Okay, it's taking a little bit, and actually, well, let's see. Come on, where are you? Suppose? Okay, yeah, right. Thanks. My bad. My fault. Okay, so now I copy the CAFT, and now I am waiting again. Okay, there we go. Now we are working on Windows. For example, I'm a user. I have my anti-theft solution working there. Okay, and it's connecting back in the end. It's connecting all the time to the server, or every time is supposed to do that. So now I'm malicious here. In Linux, I'm malicious, and in Windows, I'm the good guy, right? So now this is we have just received the client connection quite easily. It's just clear text, no SSL, and usually many times anti-theft solution that are using SSL, they don't perform any certificates validation or anything, so you can still even pretend to be a server using SSL anyways, and it will work fine. So now we have received a check from the device, and the device just want to know how to react, if we want to we have to enable or not. So of course we are sending back our CAFT response. It's there, just submit it. Okay, now the client has received all these commands, and we have changed completely we have enabled the anti-theft. So now the user is working there and he's doing his stuff, whatever. And now the anti-theft is gonna run. Okay, now the first thing, there's a message there, and now the log has popped up to the user, and he don't know why, because he didn't activate it. And the funny thing is we also changed the password from the server. So the password that the client has changed. So the user doesn't know the password. So we changed the client password from the server. So now this is the message there. He don't know what's going on. The computer is locked down. So he can try the password, but it's not gonna work. So now the user is completely locked out from the computer, unless he knows how to break it, as we showed before, right? So we can see we were able to do this kind of tweaks in different anti-theft solutions. Many of for example, a couple of anti-theft solutions, they were sending like entire HTML pages to embedded browsers in the anti-theft. Oh, that was funny to run all those JavaScript, malicious JavaScript, and all that stuff, right? But we are not going to show you all the details. So it was a lot of fun to do kind of this man-in-the-middle attacks against anti-theft solutions. So there's a lot of things you can do right now against these products. Okay, so that was a small man-in-the-middle attack against a popular anti-theft client. So now this is like the CAFT. I mean, if you are a thief, what you want to do, right? So if we can, we want to disable the anti-theft solution over the network, if we can, and we have just show you an example. Mute the sound. I mean, one of the first things is mute the device, if we can, right? In case the anti-theft is enabled, we don't want to have alarm sounding, because a lot of people will look on us, right? Why the hell is that? So if we're a thief, just mute the sound. Of course, remove the SD card so it cannot be erased, just in case. Shield it so it cannot receive any commands. And now, after these steps, we can start working again on against Wicked, right? We can break the device, security, collect data, try and recovery, and all that stuff. So with using this CAFT, hopefully we are going to be avoid being busted, and that's the thing we want to be as professional thieves, right? So now that was a little bit. I mean, we have much more vulnerabilities and stuff, but I think those are something quite interesting. But you can do a lot of attacks and different stuff, and actually all the attacks here, they were quite basic. We have more sophisticated attacks like buffer overflows and all that stuff. But when we are waiting just for the anti-theft solution to improve the security, and then we will break them again. 15. Okay, I'm doing fine. Okay, so this is like a summary of the risk we have seen on these anti-theft solutions. So we have like clear text over the network on the devices. I guess many of these vendors didn't follow ours, because if they do, they will know this is like one of the top issues there, and you have to do something about it. Of course, another security issue there is like the poor cryptography algorithms they are using at the moment. Very few programs they were using real encryption. Also, there were also a lot of anti-theft. There were. I mean, you can by analyzing the application, you can see they were following insecure development practices. For example, in some cases, the application shipped with the bug. They don't perform any data validation. For example, when they receive data from the server, so we can do a lot of fuzzing and stuff on sending back to the client. I mean, we didn't do any attacks on the server because that was not our objective. But just by analyzing the clients and the communication, we saw that in many times we think it's quite possible to exploit vulnerabilities on the servers as well. So, for example, if you think about it, that's kind of interesting, because if you break the security of an anti-theft server, for example, and you get access to all the clients there, you can enable all the anti-theft on the clients. So you can start deleting all the phones or laptops of the user, for example, if you manage the server, right? But we didn't do any attacks on the server, but just looking from the data we have, we think there are several issues there as well. Privacy violation, of course, we saw a lot of information from over the network with any kind of protection. Wipe data can be recovered many times, in many cases. There's also analyzing the software, we can see that many of this software, they don't have like really security defenses. They have not built thinking what we want to protect against, who are our attackers, what they can do. So, for example, many of the tools, anti-theft solutions, they are just, for example, .NET, Delphi apps, or they can be easily reversed. No challenge at all to do all that work. Very few clients, they were like more managed code, like native, like C code, for example, a bit more hard to reverse, but still we can find bugs. But very few of them were using like this C code and with security defenses enabled. So it's kind of concerned the way they are developing these solutions. And in most cases, they were, as you can see, they are at the moment quite easily defeated over the network or in the device. Because actually many of the anti-theft solutions, they test the operating system too much. And many of the security, in my opinion, the anti-theft solution should be a much better in security, like in a black box, and not testing so much the operating system, right? Okay, so the ugly truth, right? So for sure, anti-theft, there is a need of this kind of technology. I'm not saying no, but for sure they need to improve security. I mean, they have to do what they claim, right? And for sure, some of the products, one of the two things, or they improve or they change the claim, because right now most of the claims is not true what they say or what they claim, right? Okay, from a security standpoint of view, what you can do is, for example, I mean, those are quite basics and logical stuff, but a lot of people don't follow it. Like if you in a Windows or Linux, whatever, or even in smartphones, keep up to date on patches, whatever. Of course, follow our security best practices and strong defenses. Like you have firewalls, antivirus, and all that technology, right? I mean, you can argue it doesn't work or works or whatever, but at least have this kind of defenses and make things harder for a thief, right? If you can encrypt your device, for sure. And if you are using your devices in public networks and you have anti-theft solutions, be aware of the information that your anti-theft solution is sending back to the servers on clear text, as we have just seen, right? And if it works, it can receive commands over the network with testing completely. So if you have any anti-theft solution installed, just make sure it does what it claims, right? But for users, this can be tough to test, but we as security professionals have to make sure of that. I'm sorry. Some recommendation for the vendors is understand your threats. What are your risks? What you want to protect from who, against what? How is data protected on the device over the network? And we have, and just analyzing the apps, we can see that they have not done this kind of exercise. They don't really understand the threats. In many cases, the feeling we have just by analyzing anti-theft is most of these apps, even commercial apps, at the moment they are like toys instead of security tools. So important thing is you have to build secure software, no security tools. No security software, right? I mean, many vendors think because they are building security software, the software is secure. That's two different things. So they have to build secure. If you want to build security software, that's fine, but make sure it's secure as well. And of course, for the anti-theft, protect the data effectively. I mean, if you are an anti-theft solution, so you claim that you want to protect the user and help recover the device or erase the data just in case if it's stolen. So if you claim that, do that at least. Not at least offer strong cryptography, secure channels. Really two wiping features and all that stuff, right? Because we have seen through the presentation they are not doing all that stuff they claim. So I mean, in this case, is be safe if you can. I mean, this is a mobile world, so be careful with all the information you store in your devices, for sure, in case it gets stolen or lost. Right? There's so much information there, and right now we can see a thief can abuse it, and they will. So I guess I'm finished with this presentation. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Please fill the form from the backup feedback form. It was a really pleasure being here. And if you guys have any question, please shoot. And if you want to talk with me after, be my guest. Yes, sir. Excuse me? No, I have not contact anyone, so be my guest to do it because our policies, we don't talk with the vendors. That's our. I mean, we are a business, so they can hire us, but we don't form any vulnerability we find. We usually don't talk with the vendors, and we are not informing the vulnerabilities we find. I mean, we inform other people of the vulnerabilities we find, but the customer who pay us. Excuse me? Well, actually, we show you Microsoft, but there was also Android, iPhone. So actually, it's all the platforms, not only Microsoft. All the, yeah. Right. Right. Yeah, it's true. I mean, the thing is they're testing too much the OS at the moment, but all the solutions on all the platforms. It's true. They have to change the way if they want to be really anti-theft solution. They have to change their approach for sure.
I mean, you're saying the applications trust the OS too much, but that's like saying I trust the Earth, I walk on too much. A program runs on an operating system.
Right.
And your example of unlocking. While I understand the example, it's not the software that's vulnerable, but it's the user who forgot to set mandatory login.
Mm-hmm.
Login is mandatory. You can't get to.
Well, that's true.
That doesn't have to be safe.
True.
So,
that's the reason security security has to be always layered security. Yeah. Deep defense. I mean, because even if people, for example, even if anti-theft solutions improve too, there will still gonna be issues for sure. If for example, the operating system is not secure, so it's always the other thing is security has to be defense in depth. You have to have different layers of security just to be secure. Yeah.
The other thing is that this software have to look at what it's trying to prevent. Is it trying to prevent your data getting in the hands of somebody who's trying to steal your hardware? Or is it trying to prevent your data ending up in the hands of somebody who's trying to steal your data?
Right.
It won't stop the latter category, but somebody who's nicking my iPhone is usually more interested in doing a factory reset and getting a couple of euros for it, not getting my data.
Mm-hmm.
There is a small, if I'm interesting enough, there is a small category of things that will be interested in getting my data. Then this software is obviously not for me, and maybe an iPhone.
Right. True. Yes. I prefer not. No, I mean, I usually not make recommendation on products. I mean, a couple of actually in this case for once for a change, I guess, some of the antivirus clients on the smartphones. I'm not going to say the names just in case, but some of the antivirus they were doing a better job in terms of security because I guess they are more used to be abused. So they are doing a much better work in terms of security channel, encryption, and all that stuff. Some security, some antivirus clients on the phones, but some of the anti-theft products only doing anti-theft, they still have to improve. Yeah, but for the recommendation, I guess my suggestion is try be yourself and decide by yourself. I mean, I prefer not to give you a recommendation on the products. Yes, of course. Yes, we have some. Well, actually, for example, they have like security channel, and at least everything is encrypted in SSL and all that stuff. But yeah, they have also some issues there. But for example, that's one of the ones we keep ourselves at the moment. I guess I don't know if there are more questions, but if you have more questions, you can run after me walking in the hall. So thanks a lot.